Imagine setting out on an adventure with your friends, full of excitement, ready to conquer a challenge, but you never make it back. That's the chilling reality behind the Dyatlov Pass incident. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers ventured into the Ural mountains of Russia and disappeared under mysterious and terrifying circumstances. When their bodies were found, weeks later, it was clear this wasn't just an ordinary hiking accident. What really happened to them? Let's take a deep dive into one of the most baffling mysteries of all time. We begin in 1959. Igor Dyatlov, the leader of the group, was a 23-year-old engineering student at Ural Polytechnic Institute. He wasn't hiking alone, he was with 8 friends, all experienced adventurers who had tackled harsh conditions before. Their goal was to ski across the rugged Ural mountains to a place known as Otorten. Despite the challenge ahead, the group felt confident and prepared. Before they left, they joked about how they would send a telegram to their sports club upon return, telling them they had conquered the mountains. But that message was never sent. The hikers started their journey on January 27, 1959, in high spirits. They even kept journals and took photographs, which later became key pieces of evidence. Everything seemed normal. But as they trekked deeper into the wilderness, something changed. On February 1st, the group set up camp on a slope of a mountain known to the local Mansi people as Dead Mountain, Kolatsiakl. It was a curious place to stop. Experts would later say they should have camped further down in the forest, but for some reason they stayed on the exposed mountain slope. That night, something happened that made the hikers flee their tent in terror. When the hikers didn't return as expected, search parties were sent out. After weeks of searching through harsh conditions, on February 26th, the rescue team finally made a discovery that would send chills down their spines. The group's tent was found, but it was ripped open from the inside. All their belongings were still there. Boots, clothes, food, but the hikers were gone. What was even more terrifying were the footprints leading away from the tent. They showed that the hikers had calmly walked, not run, into the freezing cold, some of them barefoot. What could have made them leave the safety of their tent like that? The first 2 bodies were found near a tree about a mile from the tent. They were barely dressed, just in their underwear, and had attempted to light a fire. Others were found scattered further away, including the leader Igor Dyatlov, who seemed to be trying to return to the tent but didn't make it. Then, rescuers found more bodies in a nearby ravine. These were the ones with the most horrifying injuries. One hiker had a crushed skull, another had broken ribs, and one woman's eyes and tongue were missing. And yet, there were no signs of a struggle. The searchers were baffled. What could cause such strange and gruesome injuries? There was no sign of any other people or animals. What was happening here? At first, investigators thought maybe it was an avalanche, but there were no signs of an avalanche at the site. Plus, the calm footprints and orderly departure from the tent didn't fit the pattern of an avalanche panic. Next, rumors started swirling that this could have been the result of military testing. Russia, in the middle of the Cold War, was known for conducting secretive military experiments in remote areas. Some theorized that the hikers had accidentally wandered into a test site and were exposed to radioactive weapons. In fact, traces of radiation were found on some of the hikers' clothing. Others believed in a more supernatural explanation. Witnesses reported seeing strange orange orbs of light in the sky around the time the hikers went missing. Could it have been UFOs? These theories fueled endless speculation, but nothing seemed to answer all the questions. In the recent years, a new theory has emerged, infrasound. This is a type of low-frequency sound that humans can't hear, but it can cause intense feelings of panic, nausea, and even hallucinations. Some scientists believe that the wind passing over the mountain could have created this infrasound, driving the hikers into a state of irrational fear. This might explain why they left their tent so suddenly, but does it explain the terrible injuries? In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case and concluded that an avalanche was the most likely cause of death. but many experts and families of the victims don't buy it. There are still too many unanswered questions. Why were their injuries so severe? Why were some hikers missing eyes and tongues? Why did they leave the tent so calmly? In the end, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the most enduring and terrifying mysteries of the 20th century. It's a story that continues to haunt people, and every new piece of evidence seems to raise even more questions. What do you think happened that night? Was it an avalanche, a secret military test, or something more mysterious? Drop your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into unsolved mysteries.